Chicken tenders in my hotel, yeah. On July 31st, 2020, Dominic Fike released his debut studio album, What Could Possibly Go Wrong? And here's what I thought. Dominic Fike is an American singer and rapper from Naples, Florida, and is really an interesting character. At only 24, he's already been on house arrest, gone to jail for violating that house arrest, and then released some banger tracks last year, almost out of nowhere after being released. I first got wind of Dominic back in early April last year when Brockhampton uploaded a video onto their YouTube channel where Kevin Abstract was kind of like interviewing him. Dominic's song 3 Nights starts to play. And upon hearing it, I instantly fell in love with the sound. You know, the summer vibes, the mellow tone, and that really amped up second verse. It captured an approachable yet exciting energy that I was kind of missing from a lot of music I was listening to at the time. But fast forward to 2020, and now Dominic has released his full-length studio album, which he has been working on for like 3 years. But enough chit-chat, let's break down this album track by track, a Lego. Track 1, come here. This album starts off with a very distorted guitar. It's basically a rock song. And Dominic's vocal quality on this song is almost reminiscent of like Julian Casablancas at times. The guitar continues to wail throughout the song as Dominic is asking for someone to come here because he gets lonely at night. Track 2, Double Negative. The song continues the kind of rock vibe, but a little bit more up-tempo and upbeat. The chorus on the song is so infectious. Dominic has a real talent at stringing together words and a melody that just makes it so infectious. It really grabs the listener and you're tied to listening to every single word that Dominic's trying to say or tell in this story.
She said, no problem, send my location.
We start to hear Dominic's signature vocal layering, especially in the
because you are
part of the song. Fun little rocky tune. Lyrically, I think that Dom is kind of reflecting on a little fling he had with a girl, and this girl seems, in his words, out of place. Like maybe he thought this girl was in this fling for one reason, but then she changed in front of his face. Is that how the line goes? Track 3, Cancel Me. The song starts to segue the album away from the kind of rocky vibe and into more of like a traditional like hip-hop, kind of wavy hip-hop kind of vibe. And I don't totally know how I feel about this song because it has a very unique take on the whole cancel culture movement. Like Dominic is saying that he wants to be canceled because then he could spend more time with his family. He wouldn't have to worry about all the things that he has to do and keep up with, with this newfound fame. But I get it. Being propelled into fame is such a weird and complicated thing to have to go through. He talks about with his fame, he broke up with his girlfriend and then ended up sleeping with a bunch of girls that just ended up making him feel empty at the end of the day. In interviews, Dom has also said that he hates being in front of the camera sort of thing, and I guess this whole song really does make sense in terms of him wanting to go back to a simpler time. It's a fun little song. We'll see if it grows. Who knows? Huh. Track 4, 10 Times Stronger. Okay, now we're totally breaking away from the rock tropes. And we really get that sweet vocal layering starting to happen. It has a very Frank Ocean kind of vibe, Plays is a nice segue into the next track. Track 5, Good Game. Damn! Sexy guitar. It sounds like something John Mayer would jam on if he was just like, releasing music super underground. It slows things down a bit, a little mellower than the previous tracks. I'm not sure if it's just the effects on the guitar or the vocals that makes the whole thing sound a little more like demo-esque to me. Track 6, Why? Bringing up the vibe and pace again as Dominic wonders if we ever wonder why. And in this song, it feels like we finally get to hear Dominic's true vocal ability. You can tell that he's really having fun vocally in the verses, doing all the vocal trills, and it's sexy and matches the music. It's good. It's great. Lyrically, it sounds like Dominic's infatuated with this girl and is really trying hard to understand her. Why does she live the life the way she does? Does she ever wonder why? Why does she live like that? It's a fun little bop, nothing revolutionary, but I think Dom is really having fun vocally and also with his songwriting. It really starts to shine on this track. Track 7.
Chicken tenders.
It's just called Chicken Tenders. This is the first track I heard from this album, and it bops. I mean, honestly, probably my favorite tune thus far. Maybe because it's like a little bit lighter in tone or, kind of carefree. But also, it's catchy and hooky AF. Modern production dances all over this thing, with Dominic really mixing the alternative pop with the R&B vibes, while rapping about living a life of luxury. In this case, including chicken tenders. For the record, he actually prefers chicken nuggets, just saying. There's the high-pitched vocals in the chorus kind of contrasting with the, at first, lower register verses. This kind of contrast works so well in Three Nights, and I think it also really works well on this track. Regardless of how the rest of the album sounds, this will definitely be one of my favorite summer tracks this year. Speaking of chicken tenders, track 8, What's for Dinner? Again, funky, sexy kind of John Mayer-esque guitar playing, at least off the start. And the chorus has a very kind of like Joba, Brockhampton kind of vibe to it, you know? It sounds like Dominic's kind of singing in his like falsetto for this part. I think the song is about, you know, taking your time in life and not moving too fast and, you know, taking that time to appreciate, you know, the simple things in life. If you move too fast, that's where anxiety will start to build. There's a nice guitar, maybe it's even like a mandolin, I'm not really quite sure, kind of outro to this whole song. It really helps showcase all the different kind of avenues that Dominic is exploring, at least with this first album. Track 9, No Scrubs. Track 9, Vampire. The guitar riff off the start really reminded me of like the guitar riff or whatever in No Scrubs. But then the drum and bass kick in and you're like, boom, that's a sexy bop. Over there, what's that? That's a sexy bop. That's the sexy bop. If you haven't yet, subscribe, because, now again, I'm just kind of speculating, but I think the song is kind of about, like, Hollywood parties and how everyone there are kind of like vampires. Everyone there is all kind of fake and trying to, you know, suck your blood. Or it's like they're there for their own selfish needs, you know? They're out for blood. The guitar riffing just keeps playing throughout the whole song and contrasts perfectly with the drum beat in the back. It creates an overall sexy vibe. The song ends with a relatively simple guitar solo as the outro, you know, changing it up last minute. It's a fun vibe, definitely throwing it on my Halloween playlist. Track 10, Superstar Shit. Superstar Shit. Pitched up vocal choruses, you know, it's a very chill song with some simple, you know, keyboard chords playing underneath. But on my first listen, the song is a little too chill for me. It didn't really keep my attention with anything. Maybe the song is about a fading friendship or relationship now that Dom has this newfound fame. Again, I'm speculating, I don't know. Track 11, Politics and Violence. Another great tune, another great mix of pop and rap. Lots of Frank Ocean influence on this track, I think, especially in the background vocals of the
All You Need.
Even the production's kind of Blonde-esque, or like an in-between between Channel Orange and Blonde. The song kind of builds up this one atmospheric vibe before slowing down the track and kind of switching the vibe halfway through the song for the main verse. And the melody on that verse is amazing. Dom really warms into the verse, starting a little bit slower before like giving probably one of his best vocal performances on the whole album. And the start of the verse,
When she arrived, it was 2:10 at night.
has been stuck in my head since he released this track as a single a few weeks ago. Track 12, Joe Blazey. Fun little track, you know, I don't totally love the vocal effects that he has on the verses here. Sounds a little rough, almost makes it sound incomplete. Second verse that happens after Dominic kind of has that panic attack kind of reminds me of like Caroline, especially with the
Train wreck.
vocal delivery. But yeah, overall, the song doesn't do like tons for me. Track 13, Whirly. I love the drums on this track. I mean, the snares really cut through. The song grows and then quiets down, you know, and then all in all, the verses are very infectious. It's about a toxic relationship, and it's pretty apparent with lines like, "This is not love, I'm a glorified doorstep." I really kind of love the whirly sounds that end this track. It's a fun little song. And finally, track 14, Florida. Again, kind of Frank Ocean vibey. A nice little reflection track of Dom reflecting on his life thus far. You know, referencing his jail time, growing up in Florida, and where he is today. It's a nice way to end the album, and that last verse is pretty great. I just kind of wish it was a bigger finale, you know, like made a little bit more of an impact, at least on the first listen. But that's the album. The album as a whole isn't as cohesive as I thought or might have liked it to have been, but when Dominic's vocals and production shines, it really shines. Chicken Tenders is already one of my favorite songs of this full year, and you know, Dominic's already mentioned that he's working on his second album, so yeah, I am excited to see what else he puts out into the world. But overall, in his first full-length effort, I'd give this album a 6.5 to a light 7. But what do you think? Do you like the same things I do, or am I completely missing something after my first listen? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you liked anything about this video, I mean, I'd appreciate a sub, you know? Maybe a like, who knows? Whatever you can give. I'm not asking for everything, just a little bit, that's all. Just don't worry. I'm embarrassing myself, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just gonna stop talking right now. It's your life. You do what you want. But yeah, until next time, peace.